Hi, I'm Justin from Perusall Support, and today we're going to talk about instructor review assignments. Now, instructor review assignments allow your students to submit work that you, the instructor, will then review using rubrics, overall feedback, and in-text comments. And then finally, they also allow your students to then reply to those in-text comments for credit. So we're going to edit an existing assignment that I have, but if you wanted to make a brand new instructor review assignment, you would go to Add New, Add Assignment, and then click Instructor Review Assignment. So let's go ahead and click Edit. So let's first talk about the setup. Just like when you create any type of assignment, you're going to insert your assignment name and deadline. With review-based assignments, they have phases. With instructor review assignments, there are 3. The first phase is student work submission. So you're going to put in the deadline of when your students need to have their work uploaded to the assignment. Then you're going to have the instructor review period. This is the period where you're doing all of that, right? The rubric and the comments and the overall feedback. When do you plan to have that done? Insert that deadline here. Finally, the author review and response deadline. Again, this is that period when your students are replying to the comments that you left within their submission. Now, you have some options here below. If you don't want to leave overall feedback, you can enable this to exclude that. If you don't want to include a rubric, you can enable that here to exclude those. I'm going to keep both of these enabled for now. I also want to add that if you want to skip any of these steps, so for instance, if you didn't want to utilize the author review and response deadline, then you would just make that deadline 1 minute or so after the previous deadline, and make sure to count that out of your scoring. We'll talk about scoring when we get to the end here. So now that we've set up our deadlines, we're going to move on to the next step. Here's where you'll decide the rubric that you want to use. You can choose one that you've already created, or you can create a brand new one. We're going to stick with the one I already have for this one. Then click Next Step. You can include any instructions that you have for your students, visibility date, and assign who it's to, right? The entire class, or specify here. Finally, you can choose your scoring for your assignment. Again, just like with rubrics, you can create a new one, or you can use one that you've already created. Let's take a moment to actually talk about the components that are being scored. When we scroll down here, submission gives students credit simply for uploading their work. That's that. Instructor score gives students credit based on the rubric responses that you include. So the scoring that you do using the rubric, this actually takes that score and gives them credit based on that. And then finally, authors responding to in-text comments gives the students credit for replying to the in-text comments that you, the instructor, provide within their actual document. As I mentioned earlier, if you don't want the students to be penalized for not replying to that, then you would reduce the credit for that. And that would be how you fix that. All right, so let's go through. Once you're done, you'll click OK to create your assignment. So one last thing that I want to show you during the student work submission deadline, right, phase, is that if for any reason students have an issue uploading their work, they can send it to you externally, and you as the instructor can add a submission on behalf of a student during this phase and during the instructor review period. You can click Add a Submission on Behalf, choose the student that you want, and then choose the file directly from your device and add it just like this. Great, so once you've submitted it, it'll show up here. Now, during this time of the submission, you may also want to preview the submissions that are there. Click Preview to do that. You'll be able to see the exact document that was uploaded by student. And you can, if there were other students, you'd be able to click through and see them here, but there are none. So let's go back to my assignments. So let's see the next phase, which is the instructor review period. So when you're in the instructor review period, you can go into the assignment. You'll choose the student. Let's choose one that has an upload. There we go. Great. And then as you're reading, you can fill out the rubric by giving them credit here. based on the criteria that you chose. And you can provide overall feedback. Click Submit Review to submit your review. And also, just like with other standard assignments, you can leave in-text comments directly on the work. If you need to make any updates while you're reading, you can do that and then click Update Review. All right, and finally, we're going to go look at the last phase, which is author review and response. So during this phase, your students are back in the work. You can continue to update the rubric, continue to leave comments if you'd like, and you can choose whether or not you want to include your reviews that you've left, right? You can hide the comment, suppress the review, all the things that you can do with other review-based assignments. So this has been Instructor Review Assignments. All resources related to this assignment type can be found in the description below. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to contact us by clicking Get Help, Contact Perusall Support, and we'll be right there to help you. Have a wonderful day.